Yeah. God, I'm glad we're casting this game for him. But
they call it the Void.
Oh, but that's honestly something you can't really talk too much about because it's really a place where the players have to come at it differently. Some people will come at it resiliently. Some people will come at it with a broken mindset. And we know that some of these players on Liquid have struggled with the pressure.
Absolutely. It's very, very, very tough. The team as well trying to come through things, but you are fighting personal issues as well. We'll see what they fight going into game 2 here and what they choose to fight with. A Shen and Fizz, no change there, as we see that on the blue side, and the Talia.
Yeah, eUnited ended up going for their red side pick. They got to select for games 2 and 4. I don't think they change much until TL has to change something.
Exactly.
And I think that might not change for the entire time. The Soraka change for the Rumble would be good. There it is.
Who likes change, right?
Kha'Zix.
Also might see a Zyra out in this. Like we said, if it would be one of the things that they felt was that bad, or if they could actually play against it with a different composition.
Yeah, last ban here from eUnited was Rengar against Reignover, but he's going to play the Graves anyway, and if you leave Rengar and Graves up, you get at least one of them. Banning Lulu, don't know how ideal that is, but they're going to go for that and try to trade here. Ban for the Rengar. Also, I do have to make a little bit of an addendum. It is still 7.5 as the patch, so there hasn't been the AD change to Warlords. Still think it's quite good on a champion like Jhin for the movement speed. And if he's going for a crit build later in the game, it's still quite good.
Right. That Lulu's picked up. We did see Ashe on the ban list, so definitely not going to choose the Jhin right away. They put priority in that, and actually Reignover's Graves this time around.
Yeah, taking that away. This is what I had expected was, it was the Rumble Zyra last time, so they went for the combination, the deadly combination for eUnited that worked out quite well. This time they go for Graves and Ashe. The Ashe will give them a range advantage in the bottom lane unless it's up against a Caitlyn, but it gives them engage power. And now, ooh, I like it. The pocket pick for double lift on the other side.
And Reignover's tried and true Kha'Zix. Wouldn't have been the Rengar probably anyways, as we see him diving into the fights on the bug. Lucian for double lift. Might have had a few victories on that, maybe even saying an LCS final, as he plays it quite well. We'll see how he does, like riding a bike for him, going back on ADCs. So
yeah, it's a great champion right now in the meta as well, because you can buy the Blade of the Ruined King, which was buffed on 7.5. It's a great first item. Then you build Black Cleaver second, and you can pretty much go for crit items after that. You can go for the Last Whisper. You can pretty much do what you want with your build and augment it from there. But I think it's such a solid pick right now. Into the Ashe as well is a little interesting. You'll have the mobility and the Lucian combination with the Lulu. It's the Lucian Lulu lane. This is the one that was terrorizing people back when the Lucian, I think back to like Bang playing this at Worlds and getting just buffed up. It was kind of like a Jugger Lucian where he runs forward, has the movement speed to continually hit you with his Lightslinger passive, get resets on his E, and just the mobility that he has to chase down a team. Double Lift is in a spot to carry.
It feels good as well to have a little bit more of that lifesteal in your kit. And Double Lift plays aggressive, so you can have a little bit more of those early game aggressive moments.
Yeah, and like you're saying with the lifesteal in your kit, the Blade of the Ruined King lifesteal was increased slightly, and a lot of people are kind of comparing it to old school Bloodthirster that you would rush, but it feels better because its components are long swords and daggers, so even if you have a bad back, there's no BF sword, you're constantly working towards it.
You're not waiting.
It's got 40 AD, it's got not as much attack speed as before, but attack speed is always a multiplier stat, so you need AD to make attack speed really worth it, or on hits, or you need like more crit. Right?
All right, I'm sold. Where do I buy one? You got me.
From the store. Very cheap, actually.
Let's see what they have on the side of eUnited. We did see that round out. They did take their time to figure out the compositions, though. The second phase of ban sees a lot of mid lane targeted, actually, as Nautilus gets picked up here. We saw him banned out. Lickers picks him up. And that Gragas will see some playtime here in game 2.
Yeah, Gragas for the top lane here. Good tank to answer the Nautilus because they both have good wave clear. Cassiopeia was left up this time, so what's going to happen is you'll take the counter to the Cassiopeia blind, so they can't pick Cassiopeia as easily. But this will also be just a situation where if they take the Jace again on eUnited side, they're looking at a primarily physical damage composition here with 3 physical damage dealers. But the Cassiopeia you don't really want to take. The LeBlanc, I think he might do it. I think Fox will do this. And there it is. So LeBlanc nerfed after the whole 100% ban / pick ban. presence that she had, where she lost a lot of damage on her W and increased the amount of damage that her Shatter Orb does to minions. So her wave clear stays the same, but the difference is that her W, in terms of exchanges with other players, is not as powerful as it was before. So she can still clear waves, but I will say that a lot of people didn't even use the W to trade. They were using their E, and the W was to close the distance for a surprise E. So a lot of the times your W wasn't hitting them, and the Mimic W damage is down, which doesn't really matter, because how often did you Mimic W unless you were escaping?
Don't.
You Mimic chains in 1v1.
Another chain?
Uh-huh. Where'd it come from? You pull it out from anywhere.
Yep. We don't talk about that. Going into game now, 15 seconds on the clock for both teams. It looks like it's actually a pretty safe early game. We see teleports all around. Exhaust coming in for Piglet. That's a teleport, I should say, on Licorice and Fox. So double TP coming in from eUnited here to make some work around the map happen. And Ignite for Matt in that bot lane is Ignite, win lane, win game. Isn't that how it's supposed to happen?
Yeah.
That's the tried and true saying. We'll see what happens as they get into game. The Ignite didn't grab TL too many kills early game on the bot side, as Definitely and Zeyzal played very, very safe. We'll see if they can come out with the same results here and possibly another victory for eUnited in game 2. Hashtag TL win, hashtag EU win, as it is one game now to eUnited heading into game 2.
It's got to be EUN win. Don't get all the Europeans.
Oh yeah, it is EUN win.
EU win.
I looked away too fast.
Yeah, they're going to sleep now, Riv.
EUN win.
Well, still game 2. Game 1 going over to eUnited. Rather unexpected from most people's perspective.
Yep.
Thinking that this team of Team Liquid, with all of these people who are pretty much stars in their own right, Reignover has been an MVP of the split, Piglet a world champion in the past, and Doublelift was second in MVP votes in the previous split. Everybody on this team has been doing some work. And then there's all these other guys that, oh, eUnited. All right, we have some players that are rookies, used to be Cloud9 challengers, Scrim Squad, with Licorice, Definitely, and Zeyzal. But then Fox and Gilius were really the guys who were pushing and being the veterans. But I got to say, they've been through some relegation times themselves, too.
Yep.
Back in Europe, oh, it goes back. They've been in these high-pressure situations. But I got to say, the rookies do look good. Licorice has been playing quite well. People are saying he's very talented in that he's an up-and-comer.
Yeah.
And it's great to see. We've been needing some fresh blood for a while in the North American scene. And this guy just seems to be one of those names that popped up out of nowhere.
It's kind of the way it happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're there for a long time. Everybody knows about them. Then they kind of get a few chances on teams throughout a split for sub or a situation if it were to happen that way. And if it's not star power, then it's not. But when you grow with the team, you have the advantage to create a star power with your team and then show it with that support behind you. It sticks a little more.
Yeah, and like Licorice is somebody who hadn't played on a team previously. He was like a Cloud9 challenger, Scrim Squad. Definitely did the scouting ground, so he was a top player.
Right.
But Zeyzal, same kind of story, was another part of that. Scrim Squad didn't play on any team. I think Definitely played 2 games in Challenger last year and lost both of them because it was like a sub situation, or they were trying to figure out the AD carry on that team. But now that he's had time to synergize with his support, time to just constantly build up a rapport, you can see right there, is constantly bullying this bottom lane.
Using not even a early level 2, right? Just making sure they have that level 1 pressure. Zeyzal went hard with his mana, so now he's going to wait for that to come back in.
Yeah, and I got to say, Zeyzal is like incredibly impressive. His Soraka play was really good. Even if they lost against GCU, he was one of the standout players in that series. And then last game, hold on, Reignover.
Good
day. Gilius
flashes to the top side, so it actually denies a bit of his pathing and makes sure he gets damage from the blue buff. Yeah, actually very tricky.
So Gilius is going to have to suicide here most likely. He'll slide it into the base, wait a few seconds, but that pulled both Piglet and... Actually, nobody's chasing him, and he's actually going to see Reignover walking back. And he's going to go for the execute still. All right.
Solid. That's one way you got to go.
Oh, definitely. Oh, Matt flashed in again?
Exhaust as well. He's not going to take another turn. TP comes down. Is that going to be both? Just one. Licorice has actually gotten himself out of lane, so it can't be stopped by Lorlo. And he's going to flash forward for that hit. Then get the anchor toss over to Doublelift. So Licorice saying, I'm going to go for the 1-2. Team just doesn't have the gap closed to follow up on the kill.
Oh, Matt, what are you doing? He's flashing forward, and he's not even using the Ignite at that time.
That's basically replay from game 1, right?
Exactly. And Zeyzal didn't have to flash, definitely didn't have to flash. They just used their summoner spells of the Exhaust and the heal and they're good to go. Matt is just struggling.
Not gonna lie, man, that EQ early Lulu Thunderlords gets you kills. It makes you bloodthirsty as a support, but sometimes it also makes you bloody as a support.
Yeah, you gotta respect the exhaust. And Zay's
that's so true. It's so true.
Both games.
It's kind of it's saying, we can do this before I think you can exhaust me. And they're not taking into consideration the fact that Zeyzal and definitely still feel comfortable here. But they'll hit that exhaust.
Yeah, but even then, Matt's not getting the ignite off, and that's a full commit where he's taking... Yeah. If you're going to flash for a turret shot, you better get a kill. Because you might get killed again. Look at this. Matt getting slowed.
Is that a kill? W?
Nope.
Ooh, definitely on cooldown for W here at level 3, so... Not able to get back up, but he just got back to lane. Yeah. They don't have any pressure again.
They lost lane. Doublelift doesn't have any potions left. Matt has popped all of his now. And they're down a mobility summoner versus 2 mobility summoners. This right here.
What makes him want to go so hard?
So he wants to walk forward and kill deftly. Auto attack, flash. No, doesn't ignite, doesn't do anything. What is that? He flashes, spins in a circle, then has to sacrifice himself for double lift here.
Yeah, puts himself in front. That was pretty good to save the support or the AD carry in the end.
Oh, double
lift right in front! Oh, caster curse!
That's his flash too. Had to save it, but look, hold on, Gilius.
Oh, bad spot. Flashes over. No execute on this one. Tries to deny vision, but Reignover comes up with a kill to stave off the damage in the bot lane. Fox now caught by Piglet. Dissonance doesn't slow him down too much as he starts to trade back 2v1. Zeyzal approaching the river.
Yeah, he's running up the side here. That's a little ambitious, but he's going to go clear some control wards. Reignover on the other side of the wall.
Whoa! Zeyzal! No, not what he wanted to do. Good flash. Lockdown does not help. Fox gets himself in a scary situation in a little too hard here by eUnited.
And just as the advantage comes in for eUnited, they throw it right back. Just take this, take this kill, take this flash. That's a flash from Gilius for a kill for a Reignover, and a flash as well coming through. So they get free flashes on both sides. Doublelift loses his, dies. Gilius loses his, dies. Zeyzal loses his, and dies. So, relegations. This is my favorite time of year, Riv.
That was a great place. Kind of just a simple fundamental hit on the siege minion to double lift. Just playing it off the fact that he wants gold. Reignover picks up this kill, and eUnited staying a little bit longer than they were welcome on that next kill in the mid lane as we flash to top. Reignover looks to pressure Licorice now. This is what Gilius was doing last game. Reignover trying to provide that support for his team. Depth charge onto the hop-in, denies a bit of damage, but doesn't give himself the distance. There he is, anchor toss over the left shoulder to safety, and Gilius from being dead heads to the top lane to give him a little assistance.
Yeah, I watched when Gilius died over again, and he had actually slid into the wall there, tried to go over, didn't actually push him over, so that's why I had to blow the flash. Now Gilius is going to go aggressive. No hook there. Man, we're just seeing, like, even the bottom lane, this lane advantage is still in favor of Doublelift, they've given over First Blood. 2 assists over to Deftly, but the CS is even right now.
Yeah. Well, this is what they like to do, right? They'll get these in, or the further wards, I should say. Put deeper.
Oh, hook on Lorlo. He stayed.
Very nice cast. Yeah, it's not a level 6 just yet. Gets himself out, and a flash blown for the top side. Has teleport to get back. Fox looking over the wall. The flash there to make sure he can connect with more damage. Doubles up, and he misses the chain. Might cost himself a kill here. eUnited is making a lot of cross-map moves without the pressure they require. Matt goes down, now bot kill. And it looks like they stop on this, no level 6. That was just, again, TL getting too close.
Yeah, and that's a pushing wave, too. It looked like they pushed up to the 3/4 point, and then they got flashed on. Maybe another route there from Zeyzal. The exhaust comes out again. And they're able to actually get another round on that exhaust because of the cooldown being way shorter than that flash. Now they get to siege him underneath the turret here in eUnited.
Oh, those slants.
There's been as many kills as minutes in this game so far. Lorlo almost dies here.
Just hit 6. If they went any sooner.
But he wasn't in a position just yet to get hooked through his minions. So as soon as he hit 6, he was in a position that was good for him. This right here, Zeyzal. Let's see what happens. Matt off on the side, so he is not actually behind minions. Wow, he's looking for Glitter Lance angles, and it doesn't even do enough damage there. And Matt doesn't have flash, gets exhausted, definitely flashes forward. Don't even know if that flash was completely necessary, but he does it for the certainty to make sure that he's going down, because that might have been another round of cooldowns on the shield for the Lulu or the Whimsy to speed him up.
It almost looks like one of those moments where you're telling yourself, I'll get the Glitter Lance and then always be able to Whimsy the Grasping Root. Yet each time you're a second or half a second behind.
Oh, TP here.
Almost tricking yourself.
Licorice has flash and ultimate.
Should be quick to get out. Well, it doesn't look like they're going to stop, though.
Oh, up against the wall.
Nice dodge by Doublelift, but that zones him a little bit more. The team continues to follow down. They see Matt. Licorice is actually going to see as well.
Doublelift doesn't have flash, so he's going to try to kill the wave, get some gold before he dies.
Hey. Successful, right?
Yep, they hand it off to Deathly there, and that's what they get for that teleport. Now they'll have bottom wave push, AD carry dead, and the CS will once again be equalized here as Deathly picks up a wave for himself. And Fox,
that's
giving
actually
up mid.
Doublelift's first buy, so he was holding on against that Cutlass and a little bit of attack speed. Now some sustain, but the pressure they're putting on now with a level 6 could be enough to get him dead.
Yeah.
No wild growth on the mat just yet. They have to be careful of holding the siege.
And this is kind of exactly what happened last game, where for Team Liquid. It's a little bit different for eUnited, and I'll go over that in a second. But Rainover was making the right moves. This time, woo! 2-0-1 for Rainover on the Kha'Zix, so he's got an early advantage for himself. But the bottom lane is 0-4 with 0 assists combined for TL. They are 4 of the 5 kills that eUnited have. And that is honestly, just when you look at like Doublelift as a player and you look at Matt and how he's been struggling, this is what could be a large advantage here for eUnited. We thought it was going to be that mid lane. We thought it was going to be, Piglet's CSD has been awful.
Right.
Fox not punishing him that hard. The bottom lane, on the other hand, has been struggling an incredible amount.
Well, then choosing these very, not attackable lanes, but aggressive. Able to just continue to spam their mana, able to continue to spam damage. Yeah. Matt has not been able to keep up. Also, Zeyzal is just hitting all these grasping roots, so you kind of lose a lane if that continues to happen. Yeah,
Zeyzal has been great so far. And to comment on Matt, the guy ended the regular season of the NALCS with the most deaths out of any player, and he didn't play every game. They had Adrian sub in for a few games. Matt comes back in a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more to Doublelift's liking.
Right, but I play that style.
But this style where they're getting caught and killed, I definitely think it's something nobody likes.
All right, good choice by Licorice as TL is able to turn that one around. Even 4 members of eUnited focusing mid, so this may be, those chances could give TL a bit of a chance to get back in. eUnited choosing good times to roam though. Top's not being pushed. They're getting things done here. 11 minutes in, just about a 600 gold lead.
Yeah, Licorice went forward. Doesn't have any armor, and he ran into the 2-0-1 Kha'Zix, so Kha'Zix did a lot of damage. And this, that's teleport from Fox. There's 3 people here. He'll prime the wave and get the kills on it like that. And so, like I said, LeBlanc's wave clear identical to how it was before. But pulled in.
Wow, he got the edge of that. Piglet thought he was safe as the team leaves him. Rainover's just there. They could take down Gilius as well. Knock up Wild Growth.
Oh, root after.
Going to be good. Rainover gets hit. Fox can't come in for the damage. Tries to get a chain across, walking through the minions. Doesn't want to get himself caught up. The Polymorph comes back through. Doublelift and Deathly now to be left down the bot side by themselves.
Yep, Doublelift looks like he's taking care of business in the bush on the bottom side and then goes back into the wave. But Fox struggling on this LeBlanc in mid lane. It's been down in CS, but they finally get something back. They finally get Piglet and both of his summoner spells. But that teleport blown, and also, oh, hold on, 1v1.
Doublelift being Doublelift. Let's see what he's got on this one. Matt just behind him. Arrow to his face. Wild Growth is down, remember, but he still has the shields, the Glitterlance to follow up. So good 1v1, as it were, before Matt.
Yeah, it's a good arrow there from Deathly to interrupt the culling, which does so much damage for Lucian. Ever since the change where it doesn't scale off attack speed or anything, the base damage has been so high. And Deathly also taking the Warlord's Bloodlust over what Doublelift went for with the Fervor, so he's going to be having sustain in this lane on top of his Bilgewater Cutlass.
Nothing really to do mid just yet. We'll see this mid engage one more time. Just on the edge. I'd say that's like max range Shockwave edge there. But doesn't help. And they're able to pick up Gilius.
Gilius waiting for the exhaust to wear off, then pops the ultimate there to get the kill. Zeyzal had roamed up, but the Wild Growth from Matt is a big lifesaver there for Rainover. And I looked at the build from Fox, Lost Chapter, and he also has a Hextech Revolver, so that'll help his burst a bit on an auto attack. I wonder what his ultimate item is here eventually, because that Hextech Revolver could be the Proto Belt, could be the Gunblade. Don't think he'll go for Gunblade, but a Proto Belt LeBlanc would be interesting.
I'd like to see it. these different items.
No, Lolo trying to go for the 1v1. Gragas has a lot of damage.
Gonna pop him up, try to get to the other side of him.
Got body slam.
It's like the race. Who can get the turret side? Hook him in. Be good to go. I don't even think he wanted the hook in. Probably would have killed himself as well. And a smart play by Licorice to get out. Good pressure by Lorlo to start taking over top.
Yeah, and Nautilus has been such a high priority pick, but hold on. Gilius, Piglet.
Oh, double shockwave. They get the turret down. They've stayed too long. And Gilius coming in through the backside. He says, wait a minute, the back door to the party was open. That's the double kill coming in now for Matt. A triple kill for Matt. And now that's going to be given right over to Licorice.
Yeah, he had to teleport for that, though, but that's 3 kills for the support. Matt had a pretty bad start. That's going to get him right back in it, but I think that those kills definitely should go to somebody else, but you can tell Reignover, Piglet were struggling. They were trying to pick up what they could in that fight, and Matt was the sole survivor until that very ending point.
Since about 2 minutes ago, Matt has been mid. Doublelift has been farming against Deathly. Zazel's also roaming as well, so we've seen Matt a bunch of times mid, getting out of that kill, what has become a kill lane bot, and really providing a bit more assistance. We'll see it again.
Yeah, this turret goes down at the right time. Gilius is flanking. Piglet walks forward. That root hits Piglet, and then the grasping. Woo! Oh, that's a great shockwave there. And Reignover repositions to the left side, runs forward as the turret dies. But then the arrow comes through, deal enough damage on Reignover. Gilius is reloading, so he can't get that last shot. But then you have to walk back into the plants there and gets a kill. There's Matt picks up a triple for himself on support.
3 kills, Reignover. 3 kills, Matt. 1 for Piglet.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking about the bot lane being 0-2 and 0 or 0-4 and 0. Matt's helping that out here. He's got those roams. We'll say, though, Reignover still 100% kill participation, 3-1 and 4.
Yeah.
And he's been doing massive amount of work here. There's TP.
Remember, Licorice is down, so he's already in the fight. Lorlo could have a good spread on the team. It puts one down by Doublelift, though. He'll have an easy kill to Culling. Licorice, meat wall in front, definitely back. Oh, right into the hands of Reignover, and another kill for Piglet. Licorice flash over the wall. TL really starting to take control of this game, as eUnited is not the first to set up these fights. It is Team Liquid, and they're coordinating much better. Zazel has to stop on that one. He's already flashed to safety. He's got a back behind a turret.
Yeah, the flank there was really good from TL, but the way that eUnited was set up, not really how you can get into that fight in a really clean way. You saw Fox was on the right side, had Lulu zoning him off. Lulu, kind of one of those counters to the LeBlanc. Jump in, you just get whimsied and you can't continue. But I think that the way that Reignover played this, as you watch on the top side of the fight, he does a really good job. Fox is zoned here by Matt. Fox has to get out. Reignover walks up, jumps to Zazel, gets him out. Now Reignover, the Fed member, is in the escape route of eUnited, and now they can't kite up. They have no options. The shockwave from Piglet was huge to group everybody up and stop them from helping Zazel. And then that leads to the turret here eventually.
Yeah. Domino effect. After the dragon fight, they continue now to go to the bot side. As well, top already being pushed out. You can see that Deathly and Zazel are trying to hold that back as Licorice takes control of the lane.
All right, so it is a Gunblade for Fox in the mid lane. The Bilgewater Cutlass coming out. It's got kind of a strange build. This is for burst. This is you jump in, you point and click, you use all your LeBlanc abilities, and you use the active of the Gunblade for that little extra. This is a potentially snowballing build against squishies. It's super interesting.
He does have the seal. He wanted it. 2 rings and a seal. That's the flash for Fox, and it looks like he will be taken down in the bot side. He was down there for quite some time and then went back.
So he gets to split push and have the teleport, so he's kind of looking for a 1-3-1 build. He'll have a little bit more damage for turrets, etc., and trying to clear those out. But you get caught like that, definitely doesn't cut it. And now it's a completely different game where Reignover, 100% kill participation. Oh my god, he bought 2 phases. Reignover! Come on.
Whoops. Walked out of base already, can't be selling those.
You know why he needs 2 hammers? Because he's bopping them so hard. He just needs more hammers.
True, that's the big bopper when you combine them together. Oh, Doublelift goes up. Arrow goes through the uprights as that does not hit. Wild Growth onto Matt. He's going to look for the shield onto Doublelift. Polymorph onto someone else possibly. He gave Doublelift all of it. And that's going to be the AD carries down. Fox tries to chain in to get the fight going. Remember, Licorice down. Lorlo, still the tank for the team, is up and ready to fight. But in bot lane, if TL can keep this fight going, they may be able to get another turret. Missed shockwave coming in, and that's going to be the hit.
Yeah, the Shockwave is the cover the option there, so we had to take more damage before we snap back to the W. Meanwhile, though, this is actually a lost fight for eUnited, where Lorlo's been pushing on the completely other side of the map. He's going to get this turret. He has the Sheen for split pushing, and it's one of the reasons he was punishing Licorice so hard in the mid game was he went for Spirit Visage, got a Sheen, and so his physical damage is much higher than you expect, whereas Licorice is building purely for the magic damage.
Still push on top. Looks like Rainover won't stay for the whole time. He's got Krugs to clear.
Hammers to buy.
Hammers to buy. We'll see this happen one more time.
Almost hits Matt. Then it doesn't hit double lift, so passes by. Wild Growth comes out. Licorice can't get anything more in this fight and dies pretty much to turret damage.
Yeah.
But Rainover on Deftly completely obliterates him. And that's an interesting, I call it interesting because it's one of those ones where you don't want to call it bad. Way to enter the fight for Ash. Definitely kind of flanking when the tank is tanking the whole time and dies. Hold on, Gilius bursted. Double hammers, let's go.
Yeah, this is Team Liquid on the forefront of the game right now. They are not allowing eUnited to put out any of the wards that stopped the snowball last game, fight after fight. This ward actually just placed a few seconds ago, almost capitalizing on a kill from Fox, so Team Liquid's giving themselves a lot of avenues, and now with Lorlo on the bot side, TP's up, they have a few more.
And the fact that they're now up 6,000 gold on TL's side, they have an Infernal Drake. It's looking really good for them right now. Black Cleaver completed for Rainover. That other hammer is probably going to sit there for now because it's free stats. Yeah. You don't need to sell it just yet. And he's 7-1-6. So Rainover only missed out on 1 kill so far, and he's bopping kids. He's constantly showing up at the right place, the right time. I talked about it where it seemed like a bit of a mismatch in terms of execution, but decision-making, Gilius and Rainover were in the same boat. Hold on. Gunblade!
Chain after chain. The extra attacks are going to be on to double lift. Now they're going to try for the quick fight. Flash from Matt. Double lift's going to get taken down. And it looks like they won't be able to get the support as well. Sometimes you just got to say, sorry, bud.
Yep. Sometimes the support's the one with all the kills. Keep the Fed member alive. No shutdowns.
Priorities.
Yeah, 4, 3, and 3 for Matt. Gilius caught out so much damage.
Well, Rainover actually could go down here. Do they have the follow-up, though?
I don't know if they have the damage here yet. Lulu off on the left side, definitely pretty far away with no arrow.
A Shockwave tickling Licorice.
And Lorlo is just working on these turrets.
Nobody pay mind. And he's not even getting anybody to back just yet. The pressure, it's either pressure from eUnited here to crush mid and pick everything up that they can pick up, or go to
Shadow or
Lorlo right now. There's a kill there. That means mid, and that's actually what they were really looking for.
Yeah, that's the Gunblade draw right there. Picks him up. Fox now, that's going to be mid turret going down. Rainover on the right side. And with Piglet off the map, that AoE Shockwave that they're so worried about, back up. Here comes Lorlo.
And they say, don't back, let's fight.
Oh, that hit after.
Puts himself in front. Very nicely done. Gets a little bit of the body slam. Flash now from Licorice. Still has long range engage, so not the worst.
Yeah, but that's how you get the dragon. If you're TL, you lost Piglet, you don't have an AoE Shockwave coming up for when that Drake spawns. You have to take a fight there while everybody's kind of backing off and a little bit low. So they take the fight. eUnited actually have to back off, and they'll lose this Drake.
Now we see from eUnited how they can absorb the pressure. If they can at all. Team Liquid has been able to make it count every time they siege, every time they skirmish. That was in favor of eUnited last game, so quite a swap of the advantage here as we come into game 2. A little bit less of an effect from Gilius here in the start of the game, and I think you see that because, as you said, Rainover just crushing a little bit.
Yeah, Rainover's been crushing this game. 7-1-7. It's going to get worse from here for eUnited. Pretty squishy members except for their top laner.
3,000 gold lead just over Gilius.
Oh my god, the Kha'Zix just gets to run rampant in these matchups. And Arrow?
Feels even better, too, with Matt being able to wild growth you. If that's the pressure, Double Lift gets more free time as he can fly under the wing of Rainover's front-end pressure.
Yeah, it feels great. And the fact he has 2 hammers actually going to give him so much HP. And when you're that far ahead, you have higher base damages, you have more levels in your abilities, etc. So you're feeling really good. And you can just blow people up. So once you're at that point, building tankier is a way to continue to have your lead. So he's building like the Black Cleaver, the hybrid item, so he has more... I guess he has like a larger margin of error. He can make more mistakes, and it's not going to be awful for him. Double Lift going to try to shred Licorice's armor here with the Black Cleaver.
TP's being matched.
It's a cancel, though.
Yep.
Fox.
Yes. I was trying to figure out who did it. Licorice is down, so obviously Fox walking up to the turret here. And Team Liquid knows they have that. The pop and drop as he spills one out. Is the kill going to come through? Double shockwave kill coming in for Piglet. What a setup from the rest of the team as they're on to Fox. Almost no chance underneath his own turret. Doublet picks that one up. They're looking for Gilius. They just don't want him to live. Even in his own base, he's not safe. And now it's Team Liquid to work on the turrets and even the Baron.
Yeah, they're going to go for the Baron here. That's an ace. They don't lose anybody in the process. After the pick on Licorice, immediately everybody just collapses, and they're going to pick that up. Huge swing for them as well. They were already in the lead, but this is how they kind of get themselves to close this game out. It's a very early 10,000 gold lead for themselves at 24.5 minutes as they hit this point, and that's just huge. Swing probably is the wrong word to use there because it didn't look like eUnited had much in this game except
like
at the very beginning.
Catapult.
Yeah. It's kind of like they were already in a great position.
Right.
Reignover just taking over this game despite the bottom lane starting 0-4. Really just puts the game on his back here. And this, interesting from Lorlo because it's not a knock backwards. So what he does is he actually starts the R before the body slam. So he's R body slam flashing. And it's just a little bit off, but it's still enough to put them in a position for Piglet to flank. And the Wild Growth comes through to save Reignover again from the damage from Zeyzal. And now they got to pick up Gilius under turret. And now, looking at that 10K gold lead, 25 minutes in. Another Infernal Drake coming up. But yeah, you were saying 4,000, 3,500 gold advantage.
No, alone, yeah.
Oh, it's
Makes things
getting
swing
insane.
a little faster. That's for sure. 7 kills now on to Piglet. He's participated in 14 out of the 20. And 17 out of the 20 for Reignover as he is just getting his hands in all the pie.
Whereas bottom lane, Doublelift been a little bit left out to dry here. Started 0-2 alongside Matt, but now has a lead over Deathly, mostly because of turrets being taken. And the build that Deathly's going for, it's that CDR build. It's going to have a Black Cleaver in it, so he'll look for a lot of arrows. But it's also the Lifesteal Runan's Hurricane build. It's that newer Ashe build that people have been going for. It'll take a while to come online, but I don't know if they have that much time left in this game where he'll get to something like an Infinity Edge 4th item or 5th item if he gets a Last Whisper.
Team Liquid much more proactive just from the get-go in this game. Their warding was able to shut down eUnited. It's been a flip.
Fox?
eUnited was able to do this last game. Team Liquid delivering the same medicine now as they approach the base just about 25 minutes sooner than eUnited was starting to break down the door.
Yep. Oh, Lorlo hooked, but that's not who you want. He's going to be completely fine.
Do you see their confidence? They're
Gilius.
able to just go on the tank. Gilius low. He gets popped up, still knocked up, and in range for the rest of the team. That is Reignover going down, but it has allowed Doublelift and the rest of the crew to push through the turret and find themselves that inhibitor. Bottom lane is pushing in as well if they need it. That Baron's going to give them minions for quite a bit more time. They got 1/4 left on it.
Yeah, you can see they're going to go straight for this. It's like the call right there. They couldn't make up their mind. They were like,
You could see it.
They had a kid in a candy store. Take the turret, take the inhibitor. It's definitely safer to do that.
I mean, they're approaching the same decision that eUnited made when they were in the base. eUnited decided to stay there. And you can see the decision here, even after a bit of back and forth, was to get out. They have Baron. You can always fight another day with everyone up. We'll see this again, though.
Yeah, Reignover just kind of jumps into the base. The ball, that was so good from Piglet to predict where Fox was going to go and when he was going to do that. And he just gets pretty much picked up there by Reignover, who did the easy work there. And that was kind of Piglet doing all the leg work. Then when this fight starts, Reignover, I believe he's tanking turret for the majority of it. So it starts off Lorlo, go in. Reignover actually doesn't tank the turret, but kills Gilius, and he's taking all of Deathly's damage. That's what it was.
The Ranger's focus, yeah.
Yeah, there's so much damage there coming through. And one of the great things about the build where Ashe has the Black Cleaver eventually is that her Ranger's Focus actually will apply a stack of Black Cleaver per bolt that hits you. So she actually gets about, I believe it's 5.
Yeah.
Matt.
Wild Growth on the back line, keeps himself alive for a little. Still in the middle of the fight, though. Doublelift goes to the backside. Instant focus on the Eddie carry. Reignover is in the middle. That's the ball delivery coming in. Piglet's able to pick up a kill. Reignover through now, and it's 2. Gilius and Fox are down. Who are they going to be able to take now? And it is Licorice without Doublelift. TL working around the barriers of the jungle. and still able to come up with a triple kill. Flash by Piglet to make it look good.
Yeah,
right?
that looks
right?
Yep, right? I mean, that's what it's going to be right there. And speaking of making it look good, TL, 28 minutes. They're looking for a push here. Try and end the game. They have these 2 turrets up, then they have the Nexus.
Indeed, it seems like eUnited has called the GGs in chat. They know the pressure is there from Team Liquid, and the focus is there as well. Liquid onto the Nexus. They're going to take this game 2 in styling fashion, and they're going to be bringing it to a game 3 now, 1-1.
Evening that score back up. TL, rough bottom lane start, but the rest of the map looked like it was going well for them. Top lane was winning. The Sheen purchase helped out a ton for Lorlo in that one-on-one, but then also Rainover took that game over. That was really well played from him. Had 100% KP for a large portion of that game, and then it transferred over to Piglet, who ended the game 11-3 and 11 on Orianna. Was winning lane over Fox, had about 20 CS plus advantage early game, ends the game 40 CS up. But this is just honestly a big beating there where Rainover won the jungle, went into mid lane, won the mid lane, then they got the turret, which was already going down very slowly, and they picked that one up. And so I feel like the way that Piglet has been playing this mid lane, we thought he was going to be possibly a liability coming into the day, but it's not playing out that way.
Yeah, definitely a little bit safer and able to do a lot more from the back line on Ahri. We can see here a replay at 23:30, and Team Liquid able to get the ace in the top lane, and this is how fast it was going. 23:30, we're second tier turrets. They're pushing forward. Yeah,
pushing forward onto Licorice on that Nautilus, who's not been having a good game at all. And Doublelift just chunks away his armor with the Black Cleaver. Rainover comes up, and then this here where Lorlo, you can see him start the cast while he's actually body slamming. And so he's cast body slam on a location, flashes to hit 2 members, then they get hit towards Piglet, who picks him up with a shockwave there. And then Fox just gets obliterated on the back end of the fight, where Gilius now is just running. Can't really do enough there, as the tankiness from Lorlo will tank that turret up. And just honestly, a smack daddying, I will say.
It definitely reflects the kind of power that Team Liquid can bring to a game. But, you know, looking at the bot lane, we say things need to be cleaned up a little bit. What happens when you don't have Matt going down in the early game, when Piglet can start working off the pressure and the laning phase that he usually has right away? Is that faster?
Yeah, Matt definitely needs to clean up a lot of these mistakes. That a flash forward, this is game 1, I believe, where he had the Caitlyn on Doublelift. And the flash forward there doesn't get the kill, but does get the ignite off. And this is game 2, where I feel like it's the same replay twice. Goes forward, doesn't even throw like a Glitter Lance until after, and the Glitter Lance passes through Zeyzal. There's no ignite on the back of that either to cut the heal that will come out from Deftly. And now he has to kind of sacrifice. He has to die for his sins here. The flash forward from Licorice, and then Doublelift will Relentless Pursuit away.
And it was almost not really respecting what Zeyzal's positioning was going to be, where he could be, and that he'd miss a route almost. Or you saw that Matt would whimsy out of it and feel like he'd have the upper hand. So it was almost, he kind of took that upon himself to say, I'm trying to kind of have this contest with Zeyzal right now, and I'm losing. We should stop. And that's what kind of turned that lane around. Also his triple kill in mid.
Yeah, the triple kill in mid, I mean, he's definitely picking up, but I think his wild growth on Rainover helped Rainover live in that first fight that they had in the mid lane. But that's kind of what sold it for me is, you know, Matt, he was like, man, this sucks. I'm not doing well. And he did clean up his play throughout a lot of the rest of the game. It's that laning phase, though, because we saw the damage dealt in that game. Doublelift is the lowest of any carry in that game, lower than both top laners. And then you look at Zeyzal's damage. He actually did more than his AD carry, the second most on his team, more than his mid laner, which makes you have to look at the draft from eUnited, be like, okay, was the LeBlanc with Gunblade really working out that well? Probably
not.
That
was kind of a hesitant last pick for them.
Yeah, it was like you lost turret, you have TP, you're losing bottom lane now after you swap, and so Fox really couldn't catch a break that game. And I think a bit of the draft is to blame for that. But I do think that TL, you know, they cleared up a lot of those issues bottom lane that were happening and kind of covered them for now.
Absolutely, yeah, you can say that. 11 kills in mid, 9 through the jungle.
Yeah, Rainover.
That's how you cover it up.
Rainover was the saving grace. It's kind of like when you're feeding on a team, you're just like, oh man, this sucks. And as soon as you realize that you're not gonna be winning bottom lane anymore,
I know how to be carried.
Exactly.
This guy
know how to be carried.
All right, we're gonna step away for a break, but stay tuned for more of this series between Team Liquid and eUnited. Don't go anywhere.
Go where I want.
Yes, coach, dude, his drafts are insane.
I do think there's a miscommunication.
Oh no, too many Koreans.
We can fight, we can fight. I'm going. I'm looking Graves. Go Graves, go Graves. I'm on Ash, I'm on Ash.
Kill Ash.
Ash flash, Ash flash. Okay, in two.
Yeah, she's dead.
Okay, we can finish now.
Yeah, go mid for the finish.
Kill. Okay, nice. Woo.